My wife and I just moved into a new house. There's a man here working on the stove. So
Mhm.
there's a lot going on.
Well, I bet. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully he doesn't make the gas release and try to blow you guys up.
Yeah, if I pass out in the middle of this, that's why.
I'll be sure to report it as soon as I possibly can, but I cannot make any promises. Well, congratulations on Beach Brain. It's a feat. I know you've done other specials and everything, but this is another one to add to the books.
Well, thank you very much. It's very kind of you to say. Yeah, it just continues, huh? That's fun.
It's interesting. I was looking at your YouTube page, and you have all the specials you've done, and
Uh-huh.
there's like a metamorphosis across the time period of watching you do stand up. It's crazy,
Yeah.
especially the one that came out of the pandemic. That one you were just so excited to be back on stage after
hmm
some time not doing jokes. So I
Oh,
I
for
can
sure.
only
I was. I
imagine.
think we all were. It's hard to even think about that time and r- believe what it was. I think everyone is in denial of what happened. It was, at least here, it was scary, man. It was scary. It seemed like we might never do it again. And it's hard to even believe that we were living in a world where everyone was wearing masks. Everyone. It wasn't like some people, hey, don't be, everyone was doing it.
Yeah,
It was crazy. You couldn't
yeah.
go to the grocery store. There was no NBA. It seems like it couldn't have happened, but it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fun. I feel like things that year were so like they didn't count almost because coming out of it especially I like
Yeah.
how many movies and TV shows have we watched where they reference the pandemic or a version of a pandemic at like
Uh
from 2020 2 to 2023. I'm just thinking like damn, like I don't know if we need to make this anymore, but
huh.
it's what we're doing. We're referencing it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're even talking about it right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Uh,
crazy. I am one of those people that
it
try to
was.
pretend it didn't happen. Even though
Uh-huh.
I was so adamant. I wiped down the groceries. I wore a
Yeah.
mask everywhere. And even when people weren't around me, and yet here I am going, oh God, don't this movie should not have been nominated for an Oscar. I'm like, get out of
Yeah,
here.
it affected everybody, and everybody still wants to talk about it a little bit. Well, that's not true. I think a lot of people don't want to talk about it at all anymore. I'm kind of more in that group, just but it is crazy when you think about it to just but you got to put yourself back in a mindset of you didn't know what it was. There's
Mhm.
everybody has hindsight now and you're like it was stupid that we did this. But in the moment you didn't know that it was stupid. You're like,
Yeah,
well, I want to live.
yeah,
So
100%. Oh my gosh. So well, that now that you got out of that, how did your comedy change, after going through all of that? Because I noticed that even still, I was looking at your Conan set and the Comedy Central set you
Mhm.
did, and you look like a different person, but your comedy is still the
Well,
same. It's wild.
you know what affected me more than the pandemic was divorce.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the big change in how I look if you go through the different sets that I have online. I was always clean shaven. I'm like, I shave clean. This is how I look. And then post divorce, I let a beard grow out. And then women were like, you look great. Leave it. And I mean, that's all I needed to hear.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
kept it. And then the woman that's now my wife, my hair's long pandemic related still because you couldn't get a haircut. So it got long. And the woman I'm with now is like, keep it. That's all I needed to hear. So it's just, it wasn't any like, I'm going to look different coming out of this. It's just, there's videos of me online from 20 years of my life. And I look different now than I did then. I'm older and hairier and fatter. I mean, it just happens.
Well, you don't look fatter. I can definitely see the hairier part. How do you take care of your hair? Do you condition it? What's going on with it? I gotta know.
I
I have to
don't
know.
condition it that much because it's very fine, So every once in a while, I'll condition it. But if I put conditioner in it, it's very nice and soft and feels good to the touch. But it also flops right in my eyes, so it needs a little bit of that like natural oil in it or
Mhm.
product, so it doesn't just go in my face.
Are you a guy who wears a hair, like not a hairband, with a headband or like ties it back? Do you have that capability?
No, no, never. I mean, I got some comics I play pickleball with out here, and I'll wear a hat or a headband for that. Sometimes, if I forgot my hat, I have some
Hmm.
headbands that I bought for like a Halloween costume once that I still wear if I'm doing something active and need the hair out of my face, but
What
not
was the
often.
costume?
I think it was just like a Royal Tenenbaums. I had like a tracksuit. I had the
Okay.
headband like Luke Wilson.
Yeah.
You know,
I thought you're gonna
match
say
the hair and beard. Yeah.
that it'd be so weird if it was like a tiara, like just like a tiara headband, just like
No, just like a regular sweatband.
yeah, I get it. I understand. How did you get involved with Nate Bargatze and Nate Land and all that?
Well, I mean, I wish it was like a cool story where I don't know anything other than what it was. I got an email from my agent one time that was like, "Do you want to do this Nate Land set? They're producing short sets." And one thing that I guess changed my comedy in the pandemic is I've always been cleanish. I've always been
Mhm.
cleanish. I'll have like a sex joke here and there, but you'll watch my older stuff. You're like, that's pretty cleanish. And then I did this one dry bar special before my divorce. It was in like 2017, I think I recorded it. And then they put it on YouTube in December, I think,
Okay.
of 2019, right before the pandemic. And that set did so well, so much better than anything I've ever done. I gained followers, I gained fans, and I kind of had like, this is what people need, like want from me. And it's
Mhm.
just a small adjustment to not saying the F word a couple
Right.
times. And so it's not like it was this huge adjustment. So that the biggest change was I wanted to keep those fans. So the specials I've done since the pandemic have all been no cursing,
Mm.
clean, cleanish, mostly cleanish. So there's still a couple. They're for adults still.
Yeah.
What I would like to say, what I would, the compliment I would love to get from people is it was clean and I loved it. But other people would say I didn't even notice it was clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to do like branded clean comedy, but I do like that I don't have to build myself up when my parents are going to come to the show to be like you're an adult, you can say this, you know what I mean? Because my
I
parents
totally
will
get it.
come, and at times in my set over the years, I've had pretty dirty jokes, and I always said to myself, I'm not changing anything because my mom and dad are here. If I'm too embarrassed to say it in front of them, I shouldn't be saying it. But I did have like moments of like, all right, this one's pretty dirty, so I would psych myself up and tell myself that story of don't if you shouldn't be saying it at all if you want to say it in front of your mom. So, but now I don't have to worry about that at all anymore.
That's a great muscle and skill to learn. I think for any comedian, whether you're playing dry bar or corporate or going on stage in front of Madison Square Garden, I think that
Sure.
to be a wordsmith, as no one has said about comedians, the douchiest thing I could possibly say. You like you're put a challenge to yourself, and you're right, like that speed bump of, hey, look, if I can't say, if I'm embarrassed about saying it in front of my mom, then something's
Yeah.
gotta give. I think that works for you, and you're right. I didn't even notice that you were clean until I saw the dry bar on the YouTube on YouTube. I was like, oh, well, I know dry bar. I know
Well,
those
thank you
comedians
for
have
the
to work so
compliment that
hard.
I just said I like to receive.
Hey, no, 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 no. I wasn't paying attention. Um, no, it's really good. What was a dry bar like? Where did you shoot it? Like what was that process? Was it
Well,
any
they shoot
different than a
it
regular
in
thing?
yeah, they shoot it in Provo, Utah. It was so great. It was just this like when I booked it, it was like, hey, will you do this show? It was not. It was I think the second season. There's they call them seasons, but they're just
Okay.
coming out constantly. So it was only the second kind of batch of comedians, and a friend of mine, one of the best comedians you're ever going to see, the guy that I say is the best non-famous comedian, Kevin Bozeman. Sometimes people are like, tell me someone great that isn't famous. Kevin Bozeman, that's the guy. But he recommended me to go do it. Like he set me up with it, and I went, and it was just there was a flat fee. I didn't really read the contract. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, whatever. And and then it was like their whole brand became wildly successful.
Yeah.
I wasn't nervous for it. I didn't even think it was anything other than this one flat fee that I got. You know, they had a thing of they're like, and we're going to be paying commissions on this. And I was like, yeah, I bet there's going to be a lot of commissions on this. But then their whole thing became wildly successful, and it's a thing that just people know about now. And fans of stand up on the internet love it. And I think
Mhm.
stand up got a lot more fans because of it.
Right. Yeah. It's when people, originally think that stand up has to be like one vulgar thing. And I think that there are
Mm-hmm.
comedians in the like you in the main sphere, like Mike Birbiglia and Pete Holmes, who can dance
Mm-hmm.
around these topics or dance around darker or dirtier topics. Or just go
Yeah.
straight into them, and yeah, it's really working for you. But I also watched the a little bit of
For
the
sure. And it's nothing that I invented, by the
yeah.
way. I mean, before I started stand up, I loved the show Seinfeld. And the show Seinfeld, better than so many things, you know, I mean,
Mhm.
it's the thing that influenced me a lot. I mean, they have that one episode about jerking off, and they never say it, the
Yeah,
whole thing.
the
So it's not a
context.
new thing. It's always been there. And I do think it's a little bit, sometimes it's funny to be blunt with it, but I do think it's funny to kind of end around it and try to say a dirty joke in a clean way. It's something that I like in comedy a lot.
Yeah, like how many like I don't know if you're an adult like me, but I don't know if you watch cartoons. Adventure Time is a very adult
Sure, sure,
show
sure.
that does
Yeah.
things in Steven Universe, things along that nature.
Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah. There's
I
lots of people are doing it. It's fun.
it's fun,
It's
yeah.
sillier. It's yeah. I like it.
But what led you to do the uncut, unedited version of one of your other specials? That was it's crazy to watch that and like see you. I messed up. I gotta start over. I'm so sorry about the editing, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what led me to do it is a bit of again, I wish it was like I have this artistic vision. I thought it would be cool, but really it's like it's a lot of work to edit stuff. It's
Yeah.
a lot of work to edit it. And also that I'm not someone that has been putting out things and streamers are fighting over who's releasing it and you're getting $1 million up front. I'm making things with small comedy record labels that aren't
Mhm.
necessarily being made to be released as specials. So the very first one, this one called Live at Elkhart, Live from Elkhart, is right after my divorce, which was like the most cathartic and difficult hour of stand-up comedy to write because I always am telling jokes about my life. And in that period of my life, doing the jokes that I had been doing about being married and being a stepdad just became like so fake feeling, and
Mhm.
a lot of the joy came out of them. Not that I stopped liking being a step parent, but I was divorced. So it wasn't really, there wasn't like the truth that was in it that I think makes I think that's something in my comedy people enjoy. It's what I like about my comedy is the truth in it. So that was like the only time where I had to basically throw everything out and start over from scratch because the choices are like, do this joke in a past tense. And if you do a joke about your ex wife in the past tense, it frames it in a way where it's a bigger fight than you mean it to be. You know,
Mhm.
you do a joke about a disagreement you have with your wife, and everyone's like, I had a disagreement with my wife. But if you do it in the framework of, and now we're divorced, then I think everyone's in a place of, is this why they got a divorce? It's
Right.
just, it frames the whole set in weird things. So it was impossible to me to do it in past tense. So I just had to, as fast as I could, write a new hour. And then I thought, what better place to record it than the town I grew up in, Elkhart, Indiana. So we did an album, and I did it, and there was video shot of the recording of the album, much like we just did with Beach Brain. There's just
Mhm.
video of the thing. There's no director. There's no nothing. It's just video of the thing. What you watch on Beach Brain, same as what you watch from Live from Elkhart, is that's what it's like to see me in a club. That's what it's like That's 100%. There's mistakes. I make lots of them because it was a recording. I did a couple. Let's do that line over because I knew from the Elkhart one we only had one shot at it. There was just one show,
Oh,
and
wow.
that was going to be it. So I was redoing stuff on that, and people watch the thing and they're like, that was my favorite part. So after I did that, and people responded to it in a way of, I like that you left the mistakes in. It
Yeah.
feels cool. It feels unpolished. That's when I was putting this one out. And I was thinking, should I pay thousands of dollars to get someone to direct? Should I pay thousands of dollars to get someone to edit this together into something that looks like a special that you would see on Netflix? Or should I just let it be what YouTube maybe started as and can be, of just like this raw window into what it would be like to see me in a club? So there's an edited version of this set if you want to listen to it. It's released on a comedy record label, Blonde Medicine, and it's great. All the mistakes are taken out. It's still pretty close to the thing, but there's definitely some moments in the uncut one that I'm putting on YouTube that aren't in the recorded one. And so I think it's just something special for people that like my stand up in a different way to
Hmm.
see it.
Yeah. And I think
And
it
also
works.
incredibly cheaper.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I think that's the most important part. You have to get the most return. I think it works for someone like you,
Yeah.
though. It's like there's so many comedians getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars, overpaid
Yeah.
for recording comedy. And then there's people like you who just say, I'm gonna shoot it, whether they get it edited or not, directed or not,
Uh-huh.
and put it out on YouTube. I think there's something smart about that because if we look at how movies are made today, there's giant
Hmm.
blockbusters, and then there's also small independent films that also get recognized, not in the same way monetarily, but at least in the same way critically,
Yeah,
and and
for
you,
sure.
and that's what works for people like you in the long run. Do you think that with you having all these other specials out, is Beach Brain? Do you expect Beach Brain to do somewhat as well? And now that you have like you who you are confidently putting this stuff out, do you think Beach Brain
Uh-huh.
is going to do as well as these other ones, or like especially with TikTok and Instagram and Reels and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Can we expect the same type of reception?
Well, we're all at the mercy of the algorithm. I
Mhm.
haven't figured it out. I don't know. If you know secrets about it, let me know. The thing is, with Beach Brain, with Pumpkin Spice Season before it, with Live from Elkhart, all of those have kind of fallen into the era of comedy where everything's a clip. So
Mm.
every joke from Beach Brain will eventually be a clip on Instagram and Reels. And I hope they do well. And I hope people then find the full special and watch it together as
Yeah.
it's intended and enjoy it. But I am just at the mercy of the algorithm. I have had more than one person come. I'll do a Facebook video that will do well.
Mhm.
I'll do one that does a lot of views, and comments will be like, I'm so glad you're back. Where have you been? Why'd you
Yeah.
stop doing stand up? I didn't. I didn't. I don't know why you're having a hard time finding me, but
Yeah.
I am here. I have not left. I've been doing stand up the whole time. There are computer overlords that decide who sees what. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I sure hope a lot of people find it. I think it's very good. I think it's my best stand up special, which I've thought every time so far. And I think whenever I stop thinking that is probably when I should quit. So regardless of if it does the numbers things have done in the past, I mean, World's Greatest Step Parent, the one I put together for Dry Bar, which
Mhm.
is kind of a compilation of like Step Parenting 1, Step Parenting 2, which are stand up albums, uh, was never even, I didn't know it was going to be anything other than that set, that I
Right.
explained to you. I thought the people that night would see it and that would probably be it. And that one has like 12 million views. So there's no planning for, I'm expecting to do this one better than a different one, I hope people find it that want to find it.
Yeah.
It's a frustrating thing as a comedian, as any type of artist, I'd imagine, to be able to win over someone that has become your fan. 12 million people, 12 million views at least,
Yeah.
saw that one special. And then the ones I've put out since then are in the like 100 or 200,000 range. So there are people that like that probably would like my new stuff too, but
Yeah.
just haven't found it. I don't know why not. it's pretty easy to
Mhm.
find people on the internet. You don't have to be a detective. You don't even have to spell my name right, and you're gonna find it. If you get close to Andy Woodhull comedian, you're gonna find my stuff.
Yeah.
So it blows my mind that some people, more, I mean, dozens of people, where have you been? I don't know. It's what a weird question, and that who knows the answer to it.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. I was watching Pop Culture Jeopardy last night, and I saw,
Mhm.
you know what? I saw somebody on the team. I was like, hey, she's kind of cute. Let me see if I can find her. I
Yeah.
found her on TikTok immediately. It's like that. That's how easy it is.
Did you DM her? Did you just sneak in those DMs? Say I love you,
Oh
pop
no,
culture
but
Jeopardy.
look,
What a fun way to meet though. And I bet they would love it. I mean, I'm someone that's been on TV a few times, and every time someone has reached out to me personally, I have responded and been grateful and felt really good. It's actually my new, I mean, not necessarily, well, no, even that, it's different maybe being a man. If a woman was like, you're hot as hell, I would be like, well, I mean, I am married, but thank you. That
I
made me
appreciate
feel
that.
great today.
Yeah.
And I'm showing this to my wife to let her know what a catch she has on her hand. So it was funny. My New Year's resolution for this year was to DM people. Anybody whose
Nice.
art that I enjoyed, I'm DMing them and saying, I really liked it just because it means so much to me when it happens. I want to make sure that I'm not reserving that and being like, this person wouldn't, they don't want to hear from me. I think they do. I think a lot of people, when it's a compliment,
Yeah.
are happy to hear from strangers because we put ourselves on this world wide web to make connections, I think, or to have people enjoy what we're doing, be it comedy or answering pop culture Jeopardy questions, which I love that show, by the way. It's so good.
It's
Do
fantastic.
you love it? I
I'm
love it.
almost done
It's
with
so good.
the what is it? The first 26 episodes. What are they?
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah, the
eliminations.
first round, yeah.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
now I
The
have to
show
get
is
into
so
it.
good. I mean, listen, Colin Jost doesn't need me talking about how good he is, but I wasn't even the biggest Colin Jost fan. I was like, he's fine, but he is amazing at
Yeah.
hosting that show. He's just the right amount of funny with
Yeah.
also moving the game along, and it's a delight. I love pop culture Jeopardy. That was a like must watch with my wife and I. We kind of strung it out with every lunch until we finished all the episodes. Great
Yeah.
show.
Where my favorite game to play in the middle of watching is when is it the end of the day when he's clearly about to break and he's just getting, just more
Yeah.
obscure or darker with the jokes. It's so lovely. He's such a funny guy, especially when you put him under pressure like that.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, when you finish watching Beach Brain on my YouTube channel, go ahead and watch Pop Culture Jeopardy on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that just two different skews of comedy, but both
Yeah,
worth it.
yeah,
Both worth
yeah,
it. So this one comes out in a couple of days, or but yeah, it's
yeah,
what's so expendable about comedy is that like you said, you mentioned like you had to throw away like an entire set of jokes about
yeah,
having but now you have a new wife and maybe you're working on your
yep.
third, who knows? But you made that joke yourself. I did not make that joke. You made that joke yourself. But
Yeah.
it's do you like having to restart, especially doing it, at least 7 different times, having to restart and find something new to make jokes about?
Yes, I do like it. And I also have a luxury that, a lot of comedians you're going to watch on YouTube shows like this one or here on podcast will do what I was forced to do because of my divorce. And also, I did it post pandemic, also, because post pandemic was similar to the year I got divorced, where the context for every joke was different. I remember I had this joke from Live from Elkhart about having thin walls and hearing my neighbor. And then I was doing it post pandemic, and it really felt like you shouldn't be talking to anyone in person. You shouldn't be. What do you do? So that in another way was a full. Hey, you got to start from scratch. But the point that I was trying to make is I'm not so famous that when I put something out, every person on the planet sees it.
Hmm.
And so I then, when I tour, have to do nothing from that thing. I can confidently say if you see me this year and then come see me next year, it's going to be about 50% different. That's about the turnover rate. It takes me about 2 to 2.5 years to turn over the whole set. And
Okay.
it's fun. It's not a specific, I love when I wipe it clean and I have nothing to go from because I have the luxury of not having to deal with that.
Yeah.
Most of the people that come see me on any given night, 50% of them knew they were coming to see me. 50% of them wanted to see comedy, and I think I consistently win over the people that didn't know me before the night began. But also, I don't have to deal with everyone knows all of my jokes. So
Mm.
I recorded this one in August of last year, of August of 2024.
Okay.
It's releasing now. I'm probably doing 25 to 30 minutes in the live show that aren't on this. So if you watch this and you love it, I want to see them live. Hey, you're going to see some of the ones you love and some brand new ones.
Yeah.
I love writing comedy. I love performing comedy. It is absolutely my favorite thing to do on the entire planet. But I don't have any thoughts either way of daunting or a joy to rewrite from scratch because I never do that. I just replace until I'm finally at a point where I'm doing all new, and then I think well, it's time to release something again.
Hmm. When was the first time that you recognized that you loved performing comedy? Not just like the first time you did it, but like that moment where you said, "Oh, this is working and it's for me and I love seeing these people laugh."
Well, because I was completely delusional, they are the same thing. The
Okay.
first night I ever did it was incredibly fun. I loved every second of it. But the context of how I did it was an open mic night where you sign up online.
Hmm.
And no one told me this, but I had gotten in my head that it was like an audition, and if you do well, they'll probably bring you to do it the next time. And then if you do well at that, they'll let you MC, which is kind of how it works, but not really. Uh, One of the wildest things in stand-up comedy is to consistently get on the stages you want to get on. Even now, 22 years in, the best thing you can do besides being funny, unless you're famous and people are going to go there because you're there, you have to hang out. Yeah,
Yeah.
from 2003 when I started until 2025 right now, you got to hang out. And I didn't know that, so after my first one, even though I thought I did really well and I had the time of my life, when I signed up on the online thing to do the next open mic night, I wasn't picked. So I thought I didn't make the cut. And I thought that for probably 2 or 3 months until I just randomly ran into a comedian from that open mic night. His name's Gabe Kia. He lives in Cincinnati, funny guy. I ran into him and he explained the hangout thing to me. And then that was the moment where I kind of understood how comedy worked. I
Hmm.
knew that there were comedians. I thought all the comedians were everyone you see on Comedy Central. There's like 15 of them. That's all of them.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
they got picked because they were the best. But there's this whole other world of comedy that everyone knows about now because comedy's bigger than ever and podcasts and YouTube shows. And I don't know. I have this little corner of stand up that's my very own, and I love it. And every set I do is still a joy and has been since that first one.
That's good. That's good. It's okay to get disenfranchised. I'm sure, I don't have to tell you that. Yeah, but it's good that you still
Yeah.
are finding that joy and that energy within it. I tried comedy for a little bit and it just was not me. I'd rather just talk to people about it and find things about it. I
Uh-huh.
remember the first time I did it. I went to a friend's not open mic night, but he had signed up to do like a 5 minutes at a bar or something.
Uh-huh.
And then we were living at home after college. He got in trouble with his parents, so he couldn't borrow the car. So there's like 10 of us at this restaurant, along with a bachelorette party and like five other people. And the guy was like, "Well, does anyone here want to take a spot?" And I took a spot. I had nothing written down.
Oh, wow.
And I just went up there, was not funny in the slightest. And then, and then, years later, not even years later, like maybe a year or two, I did an open mic night at the Vortex here in Atlanta and our Laughing Skull Lounge. And then that. That was pretty much it. I said, you know what? I did it. I did a couple more times and it just wasn't for me. But I get that that sensation, that going up
Yeah.
there and actually writing something down and making and doing the jokes. And uh, it's something that I understand, and you know, the continually seeking it out. And when it works, it works. And even when it doesn't, it's something that can be beneficial to you in the end. So
Hmm.
you know, that's a good job on all of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But don't get me wrong, I do hate it sometimes.
No, no, I get it. Yeah, yeah.
Every second I'm performing is the best, but there's some times where I'm like in the middle seat on a flight at 5 in the morning and I'm thinking, what, why don't I just get a job? But all the performing is so fun.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Are you touring right now?
Yeah, I actually leave tonight. I have shows this week. I'm touring a lot. I tour as much
Okay,
as I can, and I host a animal show
I
on the
saw that.
CW that's ramping back up. So I'll get to be home a little bit more, which I love because I love being home and spending time with my wife. And yeah, but I'm always on tour. I've never gone anywhere. To everyone that asks where I've been.
Where are you shooting? Was it Totally Funny Animals? Where are you shooting that?
I don't even know that we have a stage yet, but it's in
Okay.
LA. It shoots in LA.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. I watched a clip from an episode on the CW's website, and you know I didn't even have to like look at the show. I once I saw the
Yeah.
title, I went, I know what this show is going to be, and
Uh-huh.
it performed exactly what I needed it to do.
That's a great description of the show. It is exactly what you think it is, and it delivers on exactly what you think that show is. Yeah.
I'm just glad I'm glad to see, you know, another comedian get paid outside of doing straight up comedy. Like truly, I just love seeing people work.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I like you, if I talk to you and I like you, I go, you know what? As long as they're getting a paycheck, I'm fine. I don't care what it is.
That is a fun thing about comedy is stand up is the best. Stand up is the gold standard. If your whole life can just be stand up, what a dream. But I have thought since the very beginning of starting in stand up, making it for me will be if the way that I'm being paid is being funny in whatever context that comes. That's making it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's a great way of buttoning it. Andy, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. This has been
Sure.
fantastic. You got a guy in the house working on the stove and you're not dead. That's good.
Yeah, lived through the whole thing. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I'll have this out soon,
Of
and
course. Thanks
congrats
again.
on Beach Brain.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for watching it. Thanks for interviewing me. Much appreciated.
Yeah, no worries. All right, travel safely and have a good one.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.